Okie dokie. Hello, is YouTube up and at 'em? It is! I got it working! Yay! Okay, so sorry YouTube, you've missed out on how long? 20 minutes of preamble. I couldn't get the multi-stream to work, but it's working now. So that's wonderful news. I'm very pleased. Very, very pleased indeed. Oh man. Although that didn't get that working. Oh well, we've at least got something up, so I will celebrate that win, and I will next time on my laptop try and be more fluid with how all of these things work. But it's up and running now, so that is, like I said, a win. Okay, I just need to move the chat box so I can see. Mainly so it's easier for me to keep a hold of the VODs. Speaking of, there were a couple of IRL streams that are not on YouTube. So I will figure out the way that I want to try and get those up on YouTube. But watch this space. Hi, Cram! I'm missing breakfast because I'm both too lazy to make it and don't feel like putting on sun cream to go and get it outside. Yes, it is a deadly laser. I don't blame you. I think that also when it is this hot, your appetite is suppressed anyway. So I don't think that it is that surprising that you might not be in the mood for going to grab breakfast because it is bloody hot. Hi, Gordo. Good to see ya. That employer captain was trying to get people to join in, which I'm pretty sure wasn't the intention. Yeah, I think so. But malleable is a good word. Anyhow, it is just not a good idea, and we can't tell people what to do, but we can tell them our thoughts. You know, it's only up to others to make decisions for themselves, but that doesn't mean that we can't share our own opinions on them, especially when the action is posted in a public space. So same way that I accept that there are going to be people who don't enjoy my streams and don't enjoy my content, that is okay. They are allowed to not do that. Do you know what I find weird though? Is I always find it funny when people take the time out of their day to comment odd things. And the thing is, I feel like at my channel size, I don't get a lot of nasty comments, but the ones I do are just somehow really odd. I don't know how to explain it very well. Where it's not just a direct insult, but I'm always like, why, you could just not watch. When I come across someone that I don't like or don't enjoy watching that has come onto my algorithm, I just skip. I just stop watching. So I don't understand the idea of like going out of one's way to now also make a comment. Anyway, that's just a whole thing, I suppose. Yeah, just odd ones, hey. Is there one thing you can count on here is people speaking their minds? Suggestible? Nah, I think not so much. But impressionable is definitely the word for sure. Like, this is how I shall choose to use my time for the day. Exactly. And I think that's what I find funny, especially when people are like, oh, go get a real job. Like, you spend all your time on the internet doing this. And it's like, you literally could say the same thing about you spending your time commenting. And so it doesn't make me mad. I just don't understand it. It just makes me more confused about them and their well-being rather than achieving the result that they're trying to achieve, I guess. I think they seek out not so large channels. To be noticed. I think that's probably on, you've got a good point as well, because otherwise they get lost in the sea of comments and whatnot. I think even one person on one of the shorts, they said something about like not enjoying I think it was a Red Dead one, and someone commented, well, that was rude. And then the same person was like, we got a simp over here. And I felt so sorry for people that even calling out behavior is apparently simp behavior. And it just goes to show the mindset of a wannabe troll, I guess, you know? It's so anyway, if you guys call out bad behavior, that is actually simping. It's apparently... yeah, the interaction, exactly. I know a lot of people prefer the smaller channels for that reason as well. They say that stuff, and yet we're on the internet too. Yeah, they're on the internet too, just wasting their time. I have my YouTube history off, so in theory, they're not supposed to be using it to influence my related searches, but they clearly are sometimes. But I also just click the drop down and go, I don't like this, I don't want to see it, and get out of my face. Hell yeah. I always try to do stuff like that as well, but similarly, I'm not so convinced it works, but nonetheless. Squirrels in my pants! Squirrels in my pants! I was expecting this to take 10 hours to find that word now. What will I do with my brain for the rest of the 9 hours and 58 minutes? You can learn all about the Spanish history. It's long and ridiculous. I'll tell you what. It will take you that full 10 hours because I can tell you that I barely scratched the surface in the 10-hour car drive. So I speak it from what's it called? Experience. Thank you for the follow, Jake. Yeah, start the next great novel, maybe. I had to work with those people, says Gordo. They're the biggest brown noses around. I am not surprised. They're all nasty, and then when it comes to being in person, they're probably brown noses. I believe you for sure, Gordo. I'm so glad I'm retired. I saw you on the beach, and there were too many people around for me. I have been loving my holiday lifestyle. I definitely want to try and figure out more of the IRL stuff. Today is just nice to rest though. The thing is, however, that I think Europe just has better connectivity around the place. So that brings me a little bit of hope that some of these IRL trips will be good. It's just, I find somewhat a bit more difficult when organizing around other people because I've been in a group of 4 and now a group of 8 and everyone wants to do their own thing, or rather I think even as the group of 4 it's more common to try and plan around one another. Now I feel a little bit more relaxed because there are enough people to kind of entertain one another, where if I am not in the group it's not so obvious, but when you go from 4 down to 3 it's very obvious that someone's missing. But going from 8 to 7, I'm like, I'll just come hang out. Hi, Mr. J. And so it has made me feel a little bit better about coming in and saying hi. But I want to explore more of Xàbia. The only thing is I'm not very familiar with the landscape because I'm kind of not right in the middle, but I'm not as close to the beach as I was in Donostia, and so that felt like a very easy place to explore, where it's like, let's just walk around the bay and go from here. But going in between all of the buildings and stuff, I think it would be really cool because it is very European. That's one of the things I love about European villages, I guess would be the word to use. All of these narrow streets with the houses or places built up against one another. So hopefully we can stay connected. I'll do that in a couple days' time, and we'll just see what we can find. When you return, you'll be a group of 10. Yeah, exactly. There's just got to be a whole bunch of extras around. Hilarious. Whoa, what are these? Love. Very fun. They're just very sparkly on my eyeballs from Mr. J there. I've been in London my entire life. I only went to Dubai when I was a toddler. I want to travel, but I can't afford it. Well, yeah, if you're living in London, I'm not surprised you can't afford it because all of your money is going straight to living in London. But hopefully you can see more. I want to see more of UK as well. Have you at least had the opportunity to explore outside of London, Pyro? And I think Dubai, if it was that young, you probably won't remember much of it, hey? I don't go to the beach until all the tourists clear out. That's fair enough. In September or May. And then it's still warm enough as well to still swim, but without the mass groups. Thank you, Alpaca. Hope you've been well. I am having a great holiday, truly. I do have some updates though. It is a little bit unfortunate, but I cannot get my visa as planned while on this trip. My plan was to get the UK visa, like the full UK visa, because I'll be out of the country, but I have to be in New Zealand for it. So I will not be able to apply until I'm back in October, but that's okay. It's just pushed it back only. Well, it's a little bit nerving. 3 months. 3 months is significant. So hopefully, it's okay. But I think considering I've been doing so much travel that it's not so bad. But it was a little bit disappointing. But we roll with the punches and we move forward. So I will hopefully get accepted in October now instead of in July/August like intended. Hi Fit, how you going? And which one was this? Oh, right. Yeah, that's for Cloud Cool. Gotcha. Do you have to stay out of the UK for 3 months? No. The thing is, it's one of those situations where I don't think it's going to be an issue, because UK has an odd rule where you can visit the UK for up to 6 months. And it's not 6 months during a 12-month period. It's just every time you arrive, you can spend up to 6 months. And so it's very it's very lax. It doesn't feel right. It's just about Fit. We're just about holidays and UK visas and stuff. Hi Bunny. It's anyway. So as a tourist, you can go indefinite time. Oh, not indefinite times. You can go as many times as you want to the UK, as long as you don't spend more than 6 months. But I don't know how they monitor it, because, for example, if you stay there for 6 months as a tourist and then you leave and then you come back within a month, then you could technically stay there for another 6 months. The only thing that they say is that you've got to make it look like you're not living there. But even then, how do they monitor it? It just seems odd. But I think because of how much I've been going in and out of the UK and how much I've been going around the UK, I really have been visiting and having it more as my base for my trips. But I'm not using the NHS, and I'm not working. I'm not earning any money in the UK, so I'm not concerned. Yes, exactly, Lemon. Just fly to Ireland for the day and then back to the UK. I'm not concerned, and I'm not trying to get any welfare benefits. I'm still an Australian resident for tax purposes, so it hasn't bothered me. Especially because by the time I get back to the UK, I fly out like 3 weeks later, so that it's all fine. Thank you for the follow, Bjorn. It sounds confusing on their part, exactly. But I think it's not confusing. It's just illogical because it's impossible to monitor. Maybe they don't. Anyway, I am coming in and out, and I will be doing some more UK travel as well when I'm back, which is exciting. Yeah, it should be fine. But I think it's more disappointment because I had this plan where I wanted to check out the UK for a few months, confirm that I was happy to stay, and then get the visa, and then I can start working and whatnot there and earning money in the UK. And now that being pushed back 3 months, it's just disappointing. But these things happen, and it's not it's not that bad in the grand scheme of things, because I will be back in New Zealand after all. It'd be different if I wasn't planning to go back to New Zealand. But since I am, it'll just all work out in the end. And if it doesn't, we'll roll with those punches. You're not getting any welfare? Welfare, you can stay. Very funny. You're still allowed to feel that way. Exactly. It's disappointing, but not much I can do about it except enjoy my holiday, enjoy my travels. My cousin's going to the UK in September, so we're going to do a short, like 4-day little trip around the UK, so that'll be cool as well. And then my parents are going to come over and we're going to do some fun stuff. My mum wants to go to Bath, and I was like, ooh, I love Bath, so yes, I will take you. So we're going to do a lot more UK and then fly back to New Zealand. Oh, thank you, Cram. Yeah, it's all I can do. I will introduce myself briefly. I love it. My name is Bjorn. Hello. I'm unfortunately disabled. It is difficult for me to operate a computer, so I use a tablet with voice control typing, and I am from the Netherlands. Welcome. We actually saw well, don't feel like you are obligated to chat too much, of course, but chime in when you want to chime in. Or when you feel like you can. But me and the group that I'm with went for coffee yesterday, and we played a little a mini bet on this group of like 8 lads. 8 lads is what I'm gonna call them. And one person's like, Germans for sure. I was like, because we couldn't hear them. It was just the look and the squad. And I was like, no. There's no way that they're all Germans. They're too tall. They're far too tall. And so then we just started betting on what we thought that the group was. Turns out they're from the Netherlands. We could hear it in the yapping away. So I did not have to pay for my meal. It was awesome. Yeah, the whole exclamalia coming down. I've been saying that a little bit. Oh, my Spanish is getting okay. It's not amazing, but there's definitely stuff that I think you can learn, say, on Duolingo. But it doesn't really help. You might learn some vocab, but it becomes very obvious the words and phrases that you need. So, for example, my pronunciation is not very good, but podemos dividir la cuenta? Por favor? That one has come in handy a lot of times. So for those who don't speak Spanish, that was a phrase that we had to learn, is can we split the bill, please? Tree started learning Spanish last week. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Well, I guess I've been on the move, so I may it wouldn't have been as easy to pick up on any little updates. Split the bill. Yeah, that was my Kiwi accent. It reminds me of a vlog I saw someone do when they zoomed in on a Honeywell brand money lockbox. Said something like, I told my wife I bought all these CDs, and she said, Honeywell, and then he pointed the camera at another guy who just said, I'm glad my coffee's kicking in. This is ridiculous. But, well, fair. Hi, Azirak. Marry some British royalty. There are like thousands of them. That way, when someone complains about you going for a green card marriage, they'll be, do you know who I am? I'm the 13,986th in line for the throne. Back off. There was this guy, I put it in the Discord, this was several months ago, who was looking for I'm going to call them a breeder, to be honest. He didn't call it that, but it was very obvious that that's what he wanted. He wanted someone to have babies with, and he was so bigoted, but I think it was a baron, if anyone remembers, but I think it was something like this. Anyway, and he had all of these bigoted requests, or rather no's for this breeding. An oil baron, maybe. Not in the UK. And it was like, must be over this height, and must be under this age, and must be that, and must be this, and not from these countries, and not the, and it was just so gross. But I was like, I could be a part of that. I could have a couple kids just and then potentially inherit a whole bunch of millions of pounds. I could do that. Anyway, I did not. Chimichanga, taco, paella, sangria, por favor. Well, the sangrias I have learned are very touristy, and it is the most obvious thing to me that it is touristy, that because they make them in these massive tubs. So none of it is done fresh, and it's all just syrup, and it's gross, and it's not how sangria should be made. So no sangria for me in Spain. I'm very much a drink the local kind of gal, and so I've been looking up the wines of Valencia. So Valencia is kind of like a province, I suppose. And also a city, but I'm not in the city, I'm just outside of it. But that kind of, my dad called it the nose of Spain. I don't think anyone else calls it that, but I was showing him on Find My, where we are located, and so I was like, it's on the east coast, and then you just keep going down past Valencia, and then there's this little like jut out, and he's like, oh, it's like a little nose. So now I refer to it as the nose of Spain, and so I'll just have to build the rest of the face at some point. Anyway, so I'm on the nose of Spain, and so I've been looking up the wine region and the drinks here. I did find a local beer, and by local I mean like the mass-produced beer, but it is still from this area. So I was sipping on that yesterday, but I haven't felt confident on the wines yet. Why didn't you? We could have been rich. It's in the Discord. I couldn't remember what the reasoning of not doing it. Maybe there is one thing that I didn't tick off. Maybe it was like a political view where I'm like, damn, if only I didn't have this political view, then I could have been rich. Oh my goodness. Which one's CK3? Sorry, I understand that would be a game, but I can't quite figure out what the acronym is, Captain. Yeah, still in Spain, but in a different part of it now. The nose. Kind of sounds, yeah, like the Horn of Africa, but the nose, because it's not quite as big. When I was living in a tropical resort, we had a Spanish chef who would make sangria by the esky. But did he call it, is that for the tourists, or is that for himself? Because everything I've read is sangria is a very touristy drink. When I was in elementary school, our teacher taught us that the shape of the state I'm in looks like a witch riding a broom. That's so cute. I always assumed that was a common thing until really recently I realized no one I know ever heard of that comparison. So that would be like us if from here on out, if anyone's like, oh yeah, and it's like Xàbia, it's on the nose of Spain, and people are like, the what? You know, the nose of Spain. I don't know. Anyway, you keep your witch riding the broom, because I feel like I know that actually the Brothers Grimm, they're German, not Austrian, but I feel like with enough shared history that there's a lot of, especially Europe in general, there's a lot of this kind of witchy magical connotations in their myths and folklore. So I like the idea of the witch riding the broom. Where you're from. It does make me want to look at the states though and go, which one looks the most like a witch riding a broom? Crusaders Kings. Okay, that makes me feel better about not knowing the game. It's not one I'm familiar with. As breeding like that over generations. Oh, the green in the national flag. Yeah, so but I don't have green in my national flag, so that wasn't the one. Oh, Nine Fox remembers. Yes, so that's right. So basically, this bigot, the Baron Bigot, Bigot the Baron the Bigot, whatever. They said they don't want anyone who to be from a country that's flag has green in it, and so this Of all ways to phrase that, I think that basically, like I said, I think it was just this trying to discount very specific countries in their mind. And so then they're like, yeah, but if I just say it like this, then that also gets rid of other countries. Um, and so even Ireland, just across the is it a strait? The Irish, is it strait or is it a channel? Or is it a sea? Oh my gosh, I have to look at the map now. I look, based on everything else that it's a sea, isn't it? Thank you. Based on everything else, I don't think that it was about Ireland specifically. So there's St. George's Channel between Wales. Irish Sea is the big lot. Yeah, Irish Sea. So, I mean, it could be about Ireland, but I was getting more the impression of like India, based on everything else they said. And everything about it was wrong, which is the real reason why I did not apply. And also because I don't want to be a baby breeder. Although, it's 9 months plus 9 months. I think if I had put myself through that, I'd still love the children. Plus the conception, that starts to turn me off a little bit. But then he was like, he'd die before me and we wouldn't have to like hang out. So maybe I should have applied. Yeah, a lot of African countries. And so, but also like Italy. And so it's just such a ridiculous way of phrasing it. But I think that it must have been in the mod chat then. Maybe I only put it in the mod chat. That I don't know how easy it will be to find. Oh yeah, no, it was in memes. There we go. Yeah, so 9fuck said, but you do have green in your flag and posted the laser kiwi flag. I think oh, that's right. I needed a shotgun license. That's right. It was this. Okay, I've got it. 79-year-old millionaire is looking for a wife to give him a son to inherit his fortune and estate. I'll show you. Hey, you know what? Hey, there you go. That's what he looks like. I wonder if he found anyone. Yeah, hanging out would not be in my allowances. So it says aristocrat. Okay. He's advertised in newspapers, joined Tinder, and tried reality TV. He has strict requirements. Must be a good breeder, at least 20 years younger than him. No Scottish women. Must be able to have sons. He wants two, an heir and a spare. No communists or lesbians. No drug users or heavy drinkers. No Scorpios. Needs a shotgun and driving license. Helicopter license a bonus. And so this is what I said, is I needed a shotgun license. Otherwise I hit all of the other things. Helicopter license was a bonus, but I would need a shotgun license. I could get that though. Able to manage a 1,300-acre estate and 2 castles. That's fine. If I'm gonna be in this lifestyle, I'll do it. Ideally over 5 foot, as well as Ireland, all with green in their flag. And they have a couple doggies. Look at that. He doesn't seem like the type into astrology. It's such a random one to put in there, hey? I wonder if that's come from like it says that he tried reality TV. I feel like the reality TV would put that in there somehow. Yeah, just no people. Yeah, so I need a license to shotgun a beer. Maybe that's why I struggle to down a drink. I don't have a license yet. He doesn't look like he has it in him. Earl of Grantham. Oh, is that what he is? Is that a good finding? Would all the way southwest of Plymouth be the pinky toe of England? I feel like I have to look at the shape, because a lot of it is to do with the shape. I'm not so convinced. It doesn't look like a pinky toe. Because that whole kind of area, it looks more like maybe a drumstick. You know, like a chicken drumstick. It's got like the little bone, and then that's the meat. So that can be the drumstick of England. A shotgun is a requirement to have a farm in some places, and so maybe the shotgun would come along with managing the the acres, and the castles. You probably are onto something there, Fred. Lunch over. Enjoy. Safe travels, Lexington. I hope you're having such an amazing time. To Bordeaux now. Oh, with the bushfires. Okay, well, avoid it if it's too dangerous, please. Do not push yourself through that if it is unnecessary to do so. What does the guy have against Hungary, green and black? I feel like a guy like that probably has a lot against Hungary. Exactly. I think it's so funny, but it is one of those things where it's like, this is meant to be my wife and not just a surrogate, a surrogate breeder, baby carrier. And so they are meant to marry him. So no lesbians. I wonder, he does look kind of sweet in the picture. It's just, he also has a taxidermy bear in his house. I mean, anyway, I wish him well, you know? I wish him well. I'll have to look up to see how he went. Otherwise, maybe I can put an application in. Have you been so far? Well, great segues. So I'm going to talk about this year specifically, because I think that I have been to a couple when I was younger, but a lot of them are ones that I've also again been to, other than Germany. Been to Scotland again. I'm just thinking of the ones from my childhood. Did I go to any? France. France is the only one that I haven't revisited. When I was quite young, I went to Nice, and I haven't gone back to France since here, but France and Germany, I'm sure I will get back there soon enough. Seems like he wants a Dutch woman. Well, they said ideally over 5'6". Dutch women are like 5'10". So, but yes, I think the Dutch would fit in okay as long as they have the shotgun license, driving license, and all of the other requirements. And I feel like I don't know, maybe are the Dutch known for being good breeders? I feel like just being tall in general, that often can help. If he wanted a bear in his house, he could have just asked me. I would have moved in. Exactly right. Unfortunately, it does specify. It does specify women, though. Just realized there's a paper in here. What is this? Must just be. I didn't put this in here. Oh, that's from the supermarket shop. I didn't put that in there. How odd. Anyhow, so what countries have I been to? So I went to... Actually, I haven't been to Scotland this year. That was last year. But I am going back in September. So I have been to the UK. And I went to Ireland last year as well. As in the Republic of Ireland rather than Northern Ireland. And then this year I did a road trip with my friend where we went to Croatia, Slovenia, Austria, and technically we crossed the border to Italy in Trieste. And then I went to Denmark. And now I've been to Basque Country. And Spain, Valencia of Spain. And then I'm going to Iceland in a couple weeks' time. And I'm going back to Denmark as well. And that's all so far. That's all so far. Oh, and I'm going back to Scotland as well in September. So that's this year alone. So I've been very, very happy, but I will be happier when I can bring you guys as well. And I think this trip has been nice to kind of peel away and just do shorter, even 2 hour streams. It's good for me. It makes me feel well, literally connected. So I'm still figuring out all of that and the best times to do IRLs and whatnot. And I think that my next one will be maybe in 2 days' time. So definitely not tomorrow, but the day after. I think we can wander around the town. Yeah, Iceland is going to be very cool. I actually think that I need to book a bunch of stuff because I'm going for the total eclipse. And I haven't done anything else, and there are so many people. Like, accommodation is basically booked out, and I suspect that a lot of the tours are also booked out. So there's a possibility that I'm not going to really be able to see much when I'm there because everyone else is going to be there. But that, again, doesn't really bother me, because if it ends up just me being like, hey guys, I'm in Iceland, let's go for a walk, then that will still bring me much joy and happiness. So I'll make it work. My mum wants me to go see the Northern Lights, though, the Aurora Borealis. So I think that's the only thing I'm going to look at, because I won't have a car when I'm over there. I debated it, and I decided that I'm there for only such a short time that I'd rather just focus on the eclipse, explore the Reykjavik. I have to learn how to pronounce the city. But I do think that oh, how you going, Jay? Some friends that I was chatting to about potentially going, and I saw that there was a hostel with only one bed left, which was the only thing that I had in my budget. Everything else was like thousands of dollars per night, and I just booked it then and there. I was like, if there's only we are about to hit an ad break on Twitch. I do apologize. I'm gonna just top up some water. I'm happy to keep on yapping for a little bit. I don't have too much to add, so maybe we'll end a little bit earlier, maybe in the next half hour. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you on after the ads. They're a free and easy way to support me and my journeys, so thank you very much for enduring them. What should I eat? Tacos, McDonald's, or Burger King? Well, I feel like, considering you are in someone... Oh, I guess tacos are more Mexican anyway. I reckon tacos. But that's because that's what I want to eat. But if you needed help making decisions, that's all I can help with. Will we ever visit the distillery? Which distillery is that? Sorry, Dolta? You'll have to fill me in. I wish I could visit there someday. Yeah, I'm so excited for it. It's going to be great. Marry into accommodations. Hilarious. Pokemon is better than an Eclipse anyway. I haven't been playing. I've missed out on all of the Pikachu stuff. I'm actually kind of disappointed in myself. There's so many Pikachu costumes that I don't have shared. The whiskey distillery? You mean in Scotland? As in the whiskey? I'm not so convinced. Fuzzy Bear, thank you so much for the 29 months of supporting the amazing clan. What a wonderful little message. Thank you so much. I hope you've been keeping awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't walk, so same here. Yeah, you've been having it rough. Could you TLDR the 3-month delay? Yes, yeah. So basically, I need to get my fingerprints in New Zealand, and I'm not in New Zealand. So therefore, I have to wait until I'm in New Zealand, which will be October anyway. As in, I was always planning to go back in October. Melbourne for the PAX weekend, and then I was going to go to New Zealand to do some German passport stuff. So that is when I will do the UK stuff, and that is in October. We're currently in July. When I do the TLDR, it always makes me realize how much I really do fill in my stories, hey. I do have the ability to say it very succinctly, but there's no drama involved in that. So yes, the longer version, but not long version, is that I was genuinely under the impression that New Zealanders didn't need to provide fingerprint biometrics, because of things that I had saw. And then, of course, as soon as I realized I do need the fingerprint biometrics, all of my Google results show that yes, indeed, I do need them. So I'm like, I don't know what I got so wrong before trying to do the application. But usually for visiting, the biometrics is kind of in the New Zealand passport of like with the facial stuff rather than fingerprints. New Zealand doesn't really deal with fingerprints very often. The EU does, but New Zealand, UK, not so much. And so it was an oversight on my behalf. And I think if I had known that, I potentially would have applied in January for everything, because I was in New Zealand for so long, that it would have been an easier process. But at the same time, I don't really get caught up on those kinds of that kind of thinking, because I still wasn't 100% sure on if I even wanted to be in the UK. And I tell you what, being in Basque country, I'm like, why don't I just live here? Why don't I just live here? This is so nice. I love it here. This is anyway. So I am glad that I had the ability to kind of test run if I actually want to stay in the UK. But at the same time, I'm like, there's so many great places out there. There really is. The one you went to with coffee, or no, you are correct, Alta. So with coffee, we went to a bunch of whiskey distilleries on the island of Islay, which is spelled Islay, in Scotland. So there are several whiskey distilleries there that we went to. But I don't think I would do whiskey distilleries as an IRL, just because it's like an extra promotion of alcohol. And although alcohol is okay on Twitch, being very specific about like distilleries is where I would have pause and hesitation. But I can still like tell you guys about it. I always wanted to visit Australia and New Zealand, but yeah, the flights are so expensive, maybe in the future. So Lemon, I completely understand where you're coming from, because my situation was in reverse. As I grew up in New Zealand, I am a New Zealander, but I lived in Australia for 10 years. And I love traveling. I love experiencing new cultures and places, even languages as well. And trying to fly to Europe or even the Americas or Asia, like you can get to some places in Asia okay from Australia and New Zealand, but it is so far away that you're right, the flights cost so much, and then it doesn't feel worth it to just kind of do a week or 2 weeks because of how expensive the flights are. So you try, and so then it becomes very expensive because you're doing a whole bunch of accommodation and saving up there, and so it just becomes this massive endeavor. And in your case, the reverse of going to Australia and New Zealand. And so many people, they do exactly that. We're in loving my travels being in the UK because of the close proximity. I love my friends that I've now made in the UK. But it's so nice being able to explore Europe so quickly and easily. But I still want to see more of the UK. And I think especially because I've spoken about this a few times on the channel, is that there are a lot of there's a lot of political unrest in the UK at the moment, a lot of civil unrest as well, and this is kind of the landscape of the world in general. Not going to dive too much into it, but something that keeps on coming up is like talking about UK culture and preserving UK culture, and it's something that I have been thinking about, is what is UK culture. And my friend, who you may have seen Dolta say coffee with a capital C, that's my bestie, She had a really good point that maybe it's hard for me to understand UK culture because I come from countries that have incredibly similar culture. So even fish and chips, for example, people are like, oh, fish and chips on the beach. And it's like, yeah, that's Australia, New Zealand, and I guess UK, or pie. Like, so many things about the UK. I'm like, that's what I grew up with, though. So I don't see it as UK culture, but maybe other parts of the world would. So it's just been something that I've been mulling over. And then it was particularly interesting these last 10 days, has it been? Yeah, 10 days, of seeing how rich in culture Basque Country was, but also other parts of Spain too, where there are literally festivals on. There's a lot of church bells, I will say that, a lot of Catholicism, but also just the community aspect and setting things up for the community. I'm not so convinced it's just about wealth either. Sometimes you can see that more in wealthier areas, but I'm not so convinced on that. And so it's very obvious to me a different culture and what, say, the Basque people are trying to preserve and keep as autonomous and separate from the rest of Spain. And and now doing a big drive through Spain, something that I said last year when I was driving through the UK that I find really endearing are the villages of UK, because I've not seen anywhere else that has these villages that use the same kind of building materials, and then the next village over is a completely different material. So this might be all made of sandstone, but this one is made out of slate, and this one is made out of like these dark stones. And so I really loved seeing this almost uniformity in the villages, and it is so pretty and cute and quaint. And then you have the little river. I don't quite know what that implies yet, but that is something that I have noted as something I've only seen in the UK so far. Because there's plenty of the world to still explore. Buenos dias, hola Lily. And so I think that actually leaving the UK is making me try and understand more of what the UK culture is. Because another thing I said is I feel like I fit in really well in the UK in a way that I didn't feel so much in Australia and New Zealand. So there must be something different that's happening in the UK with its people and how they interact with one another, and how I interact with them and they with me. And some people could argue that it might be my own confidence, but I've moved countries before, and I just feel like I've been fitting in well in the UK. And maybe it's because that's where I wanted to be, and so that gives me a little bit more of a feeling of like, yes, this is where I'm meant to be. Still, the jury's still out, but I'm glad I'm on this side of the country at least. Hi, Figs. Scotland is pretty amazing. Scotland is very amazing. So I actually was thinking of moving up there myself, but with my circumstance, it makes sense to be where I am. I'll fund your move to Spain. I need to get the German passport. My dad was saying that, so I actually caught up with them yesterday as well, my mum and dad, because I hadn't seen them or done our crossword and our quizzing for a while. So I was chatting with them, and I was raving about Basque Country, and my dad's like, well, when you get your German passport, you can go there whenever you want, you can live there. And I was like, I know. So who knows what will happen. Just fly to Thailand and drive to Europe. I like that. It's actually, I want to fill you guys in on something, but let me just catch up. Most distilleries have the naked boobs. Oh no! Yeah, we went to multiple distilleries. You got it. And okay, so yeah, I don't know who they were talking about, but anyway, it's fine. Something I wanted to fill you guys in about, on our little corner of the internet, we can still promote people as best as possible. So I have come across this this newish content creator. I have come across a content creator that is new to me, and their name is Educate, but with a K. So their name's Kate. And there you go, Educate. And they are so sweet. And so they are walking from Scotland to Hong Kong. And this is in attempts to raise funds for a whole bunch of charities in Scotland. And something that I have found really endearing, so by the time they came up on my algorithm, is they're very honest about how things have gone the last 2 months. And so they're hoping to raise £1 million, and they've only raised 3,000. And so I even was watching this video where they were so honest about how they may have overshot their shot, essentially. And they're still going to do it. And they've talked about the reason why they're doing this, and how people have said, oh, you're so brave for doing it. And she's like, I'm not brave, because this is not something that I was scared of. And she's just got such beautiful philosophies, I guess. And so I'm not convinced they are AI. They are very good at they've got the Scottish accent, which is also very, do not seem AI whatsoever. And it is if you check it out, you can assess for yourself. But I just wanted to do what I could to promote them, because obviously they are doing this for themselves, but also hoping to raise funds for these charities. So go check them out. I'm not saying you have to go donate, but please at least check them out, and then you can decide for yourself where you go from there. And I might not have a massive reach myself, but I still feel like we can still do our part with some word of mouth, you know. And like I said, for me, the reason why I've continued to follow is because of the things that they are saying. Like, I really love their speech and their thank you, Dolta. And that's all. Yeah, there's a couple underscores at the end, but Educate, and that is Scotland to Hong Kong. That's what they look like. And so you can check them out, and if you like what they have to say, then more likes and follows can also help their cause, even if you're not in a position to donate. I do feel nice and cozy. It's really good for me to have a rest, I think. I always say to be at your best, to get some rest. And, or you need some rest to be at your best. Oh, sorry, yes, on Instagram. Thank you, Dolta. Thank you. So I'm not sure if they're on other platforms, because I only found them on Instagram. But just their whole journey is sounding so amazing. And so then they've got YouTube and TikTok as well, and then the link for their donations too. So if you like yapping and you like little philosophical chats, then go listen to some of what she has to say, because I think some of it is very inspiring. And also, but I will say there is a bit of a bias on my end, where I think some of what she has to say is coming alongside my massive change in life, where some of the things that she said, it was like, you know, do you really want to just be in the same position, or do you want to make a change, and all these kinds of things. I'm like, yes, I do want to make a change. That's why I moved countries, or am moving countries. I'm technically not moved yet. Thank you for the follow, VJ. Much appreciated. Yeah, on the YouTubes and the TikToks. Enjoy the sandwiches. Appetite is indeed off. I have not eaten breakfast and it is almost 1 o'clock. I did have like a slice of bread. Hey Boba. I will admit that the bread here is so good. It's so good. I don't know what they're doing, but it's so good. And so literally just a slice of bread with nothing on it. I'm like, this is the tastiest thing I've ever had in my entire life. I don't need butter or anything. Like literally anything. I just want to eat the loaf. I'm just like nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. So I had a slice of bread, but I wouldn't call that breakfast. And a big part of it is because it's been too warm. So in answer to your question, Night Warrior, how has the weather been? When I was up north, it was gorgeous. I had, like, it was warm, but I wouldn't say that I was complaining about it. And I wouldn't say that I was necessarily, like, sitting, just sweating. Whereas the last couple days, it has been very humid and it has been very difficult, and it has so for example, the first night arriving in Xàbia, we all went out for tapas together, and it was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Again, something that I love about this country is how late they're happy to eat, and the whole timing on their body clocks well suited to me for sure. And so we were sitting out at 11 o'clock at night and just sweating because it was so humid, and everyone's like, I've never really experienced heat like this before, but I know some of them have been to Asia, and they're like, yeah, maybe some places in Asia they had that same kind of humidity, but it's just disgusting. However, today it has cooled down a lot. But yesterday when it was so hot, it was very much like a stay around the pool, in near the air conditioning. This place has air conditioning, so that also makes it a lot easier. But the whole of this week will be here, so I still want to make sure to explore, and so hopefully we can do some of that this afternoon when it is not as hot. But I still haven't really figured out what I want to do in this area, so I think I'm going to explore the town a little bit, and I want to take you guys through as well. So that's also why I haven't been exploring it on my own, because I think it would be fun to do together. And just go from there. Just try and stay cool. You seem to be good defining your own success. Oh, thank you. That actually really means a lot to me. It's hard. It's definitely difficult when not only a lot of people have expectations, and then you do it's the whole comparison is the thief of joy. So you see what people who didn't take the same path, where they're at, and feel like that is where you should be. The people who did take the same path and where they're at, and not feeling like you're at that level, and also just the constant doubt of creating your own path. But I think I don't know if it's the older I get or the more I interact with people, the more I realize that everyone has those same doubts, and so just trying to be more content with the decisions we've made, and feeling more okay with being able to change those decisions as well. And just enjoying it in the meantime. You love this setup more. It's very cozy and very intimate, isn't it? But yeah, it's just my little bed for the week. Originally from New Zealand, VJ, but I am traveling at the moment. Do you really want to be in the same position, or do you want to change? Nah, missionary is fine, you cheeky thing. Yeah, like, what is a good life according to you, not what is imposed. Exactly right. Still a long way to go. And you know what? I know that a lot of the reasons why I'm able to do what I do is because of the privileges that have been allowed to me. And the safety net as well. I know that for me, if things really go tits up if things really go tits up, then I will be okay, and not everyone has that opportunity. So yeah, if something were to happen and I need to go back home, so being with my parents, I know that my dad would be able to get me home and also be willing to help. And then I'd have both my parents to be able to look after me for however long I need. And a lot of people don't have not only that relationship with their parents, but also the privilege, i.e. the money. And so that's something that I also I want to be honest about, because I think that it can be easy, like I said, the comparison is the thief of joy. It can be easy to see someone and go, oh, like that's a lifestyle that I would aspire to, but without necessarily the understanding of why that lifestyle is allowed. And for me it is the safety net. So but I can do onto a safety net. Just keeping the honesty out there. For real though, if at any point you feel like making a change again, I'll do my best to support. I know, and everyone is in that position, but you guys have done so much already, and I've said that constantly, is you guys not only have gotten me to the UK, but you're also getting me to Europe. And I think that's a big reason why I try to make an effort to even just tune in when I am on these little trips, because I feel like that's what I can do to give back to so much of what you guys have done for me, to get me to these wonderful places and allow me to explore. And it just doesn't feel fair that you don't get to see all of it. So I want to try and get better at not only doing IRL streams and getting a better IRL setup, but also trying to film and take photos offline to share. Because that is just, that can kind of fill the gaps in between when it's not IRL, you know, where I can still go see Sagrada Familia. Exactly. I'll give you a little heads up on that, Lily. A spoiler alert is that the Sagrada Familia might be my next short form content that I'll post. So yes, I did go see it. The road trip from Donostia to Xàbia it was so long that we decided that would detour all the way to Barcelona. So it was like 6 hours to Barcelona and then 6 hours to Xàbia. So did get to stop by the Sagrada Familia and Güell. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce their name, Güell, because I know that the double L often has a different pronunciation in Spanish, but when it's at the end of the word, I haven't been able to figure it out. And so we got to see a lot of Gaudi's architecture, and it was just very nice. And then the 6 hours to Xàbia. The world is my cloister, exactly. Hyper bakers. And stay inside the fridge stream. That's the one. So yeah, I wanna be able to show off some of what I'm experiencing, kind of as a thank you, I think, is how I look at it. I've been chatting to some of the mods, and I think in terms of my content, like I've been live streaming for 5 years, and but I'm still feeling a little bit uncertain of what it is that I want to do and where I want to take the channel. And so I've been thinking a lot about these kinds of things. But in the meantime, I just want to say thank you. So trying to bring you guys on the travels is a way of doing that. Have I been forgotten, or did I leave an impression when last year? I have a question? I have a question, because I have a few people who seem to have this kind of questioning where they want to know if they are remembered. And for my understanding, where does that come from? Like, what is the reasoning for I guess wanting to know if an impression has been left? Is there like a gratification that or an affirmation that is being sought after? Because it would just help me know how to respond, basically. Dankeschön, Frank. Und mit dir. Thank you. Okay, or is it people pleasing? I mean, ¿por qué no las dos? Like, it can be a little bit of both, but the thing is, don't project your people pleasing on me. I definitely think that there can be an element of it, but the thing is that I will take the time off if I need to take the time off, and I do genuinely want to do more and be live, and even now, like, I can feel how much it's meant to me to be able to have these interactions and do what I'm doing. Also, hi Kelpie. So I wouldn't say it is people pleasing, it is person pleasing. It is for me, and showing my gratitude is still for me. Da, 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 da. On the blob or something? Sure. Okay, Mrs. Worldwide, exactly. That is normal, it is. Indecisiveness is normal too. Figuring it out is a process. And also, hi, Shara, good to see you. My day is going well. I feel very good, VJ, thank you for asking. I always thought New Zealanders and Australians had, in general, better relationships with their parents compared to the rest of the Anglosphere. I can't tell you. I think that there are a lot of people that are in my circle that I know do not have good relationships with their parents, so it could be a bit of confirmation bias. It's just treat everyone individually. They'll express, yeah, yes and no, says Shark. The English are just weird in general. Aussies, Canadians, Kiwis, and the rest all seem to be ticking the box in the right way. That's nice. I've seen many Canadians have uneasy experience with their parents, but it's all, of course, anecdotal evidence. Yeah, there you go. So you're recognizing that as well. But I think that at a point, anecdotal evidence, when you have so many dots on a graph, it can start pointing in a certain direction, or showing a certain direction. So don't discount it. But I don't have my own anecdotes or other to confirm or deny your theories. Are you thinking of using BellaBox Cloud? So when I looked at BellaBox, it was far too expensive. So no, at the moment I am not considering using it. But I am just going to get through this trip before I figure out all these things. Because every time I've looked at IRL streaming in the past, it gets very overwhelming. So I've just been taking the mentality of when it works, and when it doesn't, and I'll just roll with punches. Thanks, Delta. Have you been using Viagra as sunblock? Because you sound like you're being hard on yourself. I really don't see it like that. I really don't. I feel like I'm very grounded in reality. I everything that I've done, I'm very proud of. Even just my little videos that I've been posting that are not the clips from the streams, but just stuff I've been doing on my travels. I've been having a lot of fun with those. And so I don't think I am being hard on myself. I think I'm just being realistic and understanding and this I guess sharing and vulnerability that I am not as a content creator where I'd like to be in terms of numbers and all these kinds of stuff, but at the same time that doesn't mean I'm unhappy with where I am either. Like I would like to be here, but that doesn't mean I'm disappointed that I'm here or unhappy that I'm here. So it's more about how can we get here while keeping the core and joy as well. And in fact, when I was talking about educate, she had a bit of tough love because one of the things, because she was kind of talking a little bit about that, and she was like, I'm just not working hard enough. And I was like, damn, am I not working hard enough? And the reality is I don't think I'm working hard enough. And Streamer University with Kai Sinat's Streamer University just happened, and there are a whole bunch of people who are giving all these tough loves to streamers. And I think that it does take a lot of work and a lot of and I think that I could well, it's this like two-pronged approach, right? Is to get here, I do need to put in more work, but I'm just not in a position where I can yet. I've still got a lot of my own mental health journey that I'm going on, and I am recognizing that. And that doesn't mean that I won't get here eventually, but it can be really tough to still keep that motivation going when there are so many other people. And again, this is where you have to like tune out the voices of, oh well, if you haven't gotten to this point by 5 years of streaming, then you're never gonna make it, so on and so forth. But then I also find that so contradictory and ridiculous, because then they'll be like, Jinxie was doing it for so many years and now look at them and pop off, so just keep on doing it. It just goes to show that so many people are so contradictory of themselves and so hypocritical. But still, my point is that I can be proud of what I've done, I can be happy with what I'm doing, and still aspire to be to be somewhere else as well. Yeah, I think that's how I'd bring it together. I pride myself to also have great articulation from assessment. I'm often remembered as I always look to stand out with unique perspectives. Yeah, that's fills the pieces missing from conversation. No, I like that. That's very nice. So I guess it's just you're asking from a understanding of how you see yourself and wondering if others see that as well. Is that kind of the vibe, Ken? Bellabox Cloud, not the main. Bellabox is only 10 a month. Most recommended amongst IRL streamers if you think of heading that way, but also totally get you. So I do appreciate I've looked into this. I've looked into all of the other aspects as well, because remember, it's not just about Bellabox, but it's also about the subscription and the SIM cards. I have done a lot of research into these things, and so although I do appreciate the wanting to help, just keep in mind that I have put a lot of work into all of this, and have made decisions, or rather have chosen to hold off on making this any progress into the IRL stuff, because I have to figure out what works for me. My favorite movie is Moulin Rouge. Bravery is doing it even though you're scared. Exactly. I lived in Barna for 9 months and did none of the tourist spots. That's amazing. It's odd when they have only sent like 1 or 2 messages 4 years ago and ask if you remember them. Yes, but this isn't Ken. Ken has been in a few times, so that is a very different situation to Ken's situation. But you are correct. When people do that, it is strange. It's like, why would I? What kind of impression do you think you made when you said hi, never said another thing, and then 4 years later said hi? Like, huh? Yeah, Ken is not in that position. Lucy would be proud. I guess they might be sleeping. The phone cam looks amazing. You're good on the IRL stream. Oh my gosh, thank you for saying that, Paranoid, because I watched back the stream from the blowholes, because I was making an edit of that, and I was like, this looks so good. So I definitely that also gave me a lot more motivation and excitement to continue things, because the camera really does look very good. Hey, the people who are truly that's why I keep saying the comparison being the thief of joy is it's what you see and perceive as success, and rather than the internal validation and so on and so forth. Not sure of full context knowing you, though you're most likely being too hard on yourself. Yeah, we can always do more, but only when we're ready. I'm just putting a lot of thought into the things that I can do. Hi, Sean. Hola. If it's feeling like work and not fun, is meh. But that's the other thing, is you got to be careful with content creation, because if it sometimes you do have to do the things that you don't want to do to be able to achieve more money. Like, let's be very real. It's about the thing is, I'm very good at not caring so much about views, and at the moment I am on a little Spain holiday. So I have moved from Australia, and I've been in the UK, and I've been doing these little road